Listen, I need to tell you something that most women would never admit out loud. There are certain phrases we use, certain words that slip out when we've already made up our minds about a man. And here's the thing that drives me crazy. Most men completely miss these signals. They hear the words, nod along, and have absolutely no idea that what just happened was an invitation, not just conversation. I'm going to break the code for you today. I'm going to reveal the 5 phrases that tell you, without any doubt, that a woman has already chosen you. But before I do, I need you to do something for me. Hit that like button right now. Because what I'm about to share goes against everything you've been taught about dating. And if you want to truly understand how we think, how we communicate attraction, you need to subscribe and turn on notifications. Trust me, after today, you'll never listen to a woman the same way again. Drop a comment too. Tell me which phrase you've heard before but didn't understand. Let's dive in. Most men think attraction is about saying the right thing. They memorize lines, practice confidence, try to be funny or interesting. But here's what they don't understand. By the time a woman uses these 5 phrases, she's already decided. The game is already won. You just need to recognize it and not mess it up. The first phrase seems so innocent that 99% of men completely overlook it. She'll say something like, "You're really different from other guys I've met." Or sometimes it's, "I don't usually feel this comfortable this fast." Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds generic, right? Like something she might say to anyone. But let me tell you what's actually happening in her mind when those words come out. When a woman tells you you're different, she's not making small talk. She's comparing you to every other man she's encountered recently. And you've passed a test you didn't even know you were taking. Here's the psychology behind it. Women are constantly categorizing men. It's not conscious, it's instinctive. Every interaction gets filed away. Boring, trying too hard, attractive but unsafe, safe but not exciting. When she tells you you're different, what she's really saying is, "I can't put you in any of my usual boxes, and that's making me feel something I wasn't expecting." That feeling, that's attraction mixed with intrigue. That's her brain releasing dopamine because you've disrupted her pattern. You've created a spark of unpredictability while still making her feel safe. That combination is rare, and she's telling you she notices it. But here's where most men destroy the moment. They respond with false modesty. "Oh, I'm not that special." Or worse, they get cocky. Yeah, I get that a lot. Both responses kill the energy instantly. The first makes you seem insecure. The second makes you seem like you're performing. The right response is simple but powerful. You acknowledge it without explanation. A slight smile, strong eye contact, and something like, "I'm glad you feel that way." That's it. No justification, no fishing for more compliments, just quiet confidence. You're confirming that yes, you are different, and you don't need to prove it because you already know it. When you respond this way, something shifts in her mind. She realizes you're not trying to impress her, you're simply being. And that calm self-assurance makes her want to know more. It deepens her curiosity. It confirms her initial assessment that you're not like the others. I'll give you a real example. I once told a man, "You're really easy to talk to. I don't usually open up like this." His response, he held my gaze for just a second longer than expected, smiled slightly, and said, "I like that you do." Then he changed the subject naturally. No performance, no ego, just presence. That moment stayed with me for days. It made me feel seen without feeling exposed. That's the power of the right response. The second phrase is even more subtle, and it's one that makes my heart race every time I say it. She'll mention something about the future, but she includes you in it. It might sound like, "Next time we should try that new place downtown," or "You'd love this event coming up next month." Do you hear what's happening there? She's not talking about next week. She's projecting forward. She's imagining a timeline where you're still in her life, and she's testing to see how you react to that idea. Most men completely miss this because they think it's just her being friendly or making plans. But let me be clear, women don't casually include men in future plans unless we've already mentally placed them there. We're planners by nature. We think ahead. And when we start speaking about future moments that include you, it means we've already run the scenarios in our minds. We've already pictured what it would feel like to have you there. This phrase reveals something crucial. She's moved past the maybe stage. She's not wondering if she wants to see you again. She's assuming she will. And she's giving you a green light to step into that future with her. But again, men fumble this constantly. Some get overly excited and say, yes, definitely. When? Let's plan it now. That eagerness, while well-intentioned, signals that you're more invested than she expected. It creates an imbalance. Other men play it too cool. Yeah, maybe, or we'll see. That creates doubt. She starts questioning whether you're actually interested or just passing time. The right response is relaxed certainty. I'm down for that, or sounds good, let's make it happen. You're matching her energy. You're confirming interest without desperation. You're saying yes to the future she's sketching without making it feel heavy or pressured. Here's what happens when you get this right. She feels validated. Her subtle test has been passed. She knows you're interested, but you're not needy. That balance is incredibly attractive. It tells her you're confident enough to want her without needing her validation to feel secure. And that makes her want to invest more. I remember saying to someone, "You'd really like this band I'm seeing next month." His response was perfect. He said, "Yeah? Tell me more about them." Not a desperate, "Can I come?" Not a dismissive, "Cool." Just genuine interest and space for the conversation to flow. Later, I brought it up again and invited him. But the reason I did was because he didn't push. He trusted the moment. He trusted himself. And I trusted that he was the kind of man I wanted there. The third phrase is one that most men think is casual, but it reveals everything. She'll say something like, "I was thinking about what you said earlier," or, "That thing you told me really stuck with me." Stop and think about that for a second. She's telling you that when you weren't around, when she was alone with her thoughts, you were there. That's not small talk. That's her brain replaying your conversation. That's her subconscious signaling that you matter. Women don't tell men their thoughts are lingering unless those thoughts are tied to attraction. We replay conversations with people we're intrigued by. We analyze the details, the tone, the energy. And when we mention it, we're giving you a window into that internal world. We're saying, "You've taken up space in my mind, and I wanted you to know." This phrase shows investment. It shows that you're not just another interaction in her week. You've created an impression that lasted beyond the moment. And psychologically, that's one of the deepest signs of interest. Because attention is currency. And she's telling you she's been spending hers on you. Here's where it gets interesting. Most men respond with confusion or deflection. "Oh, really? I don't even remember what I said." Or they try to seem mysterious. "I say a lot of things." Both responses waste the opportunity. The first makes you seem unaware. The second makes you seem like you're playing games. The right response is to engage thoughtfully. "What about it stood out to you?" Or, "I'm glad that resonated with you." You're inviting her to share more. You're showing that you value her perspective. And you're subtly reinforcing that what you say has weight, that you're someone worth thinking about. This does something powerful in her mind. It confirms that her instinct was right. You are someone worth paying attention to. You're not just talking to fill space. You're someone with depth, with ideas, with presence. And when she sees that you recognize the value of that exchange, it deepens her respect and attraction simultaneously. Let me give you an example from my own experience. I once told a man, "I keep thinking about what you said about purpose versus passion." It kind of shifted how I see my work. He didn't brush it off. He didn't puff up his chest. He just said, "That's interesting." How did it shift it? That response told me he wasn't performing. He was curious. He cared. And that made me want to keep talking to him. It made me want to share more of my thoughts because I knew he'd actually listen. The fourth phrase is deceptively simple, but incredibly revealing. She'll ask you something deeply personal, but frame it casually. What's something you've never told anyone? Or what do you really want out of life? Or even, what's your biggest fear? These aren't random questions. When a woman asks you something vulnerable, she's doing two things. First, she's testing your depth. She wants to know if there's substance beneath the surface. Second, and this is the part men miss, she's creating intimacy. She's giving you permission to be real. And in doing so, she's signaling that she wants to know the real you, not the polished version you show the world. This is one of the clearest signs that she's chosen you. Because women don't ask these questions to men we're not serious about. We don't create emotional depth with someone we see as temporary. When we ask you to go deeper, it's because we've already decided we want to go there with you. The psychology here is tied to vulnerability and trust. Intimacy isn't built through surface-level conversation. It's built when both people are willing to be seen. And by asking you to reveal something real, she's essentially saying, I want to see you, the real you, and I trust that you'll let me. Now, most men panic at this moment. They either overshare, dumping their entire life story in a desperate attempt to connect, or they shut down, giving some vague, guarded answer because they're afraid of being too vulnerable. Both responses push her away. Oversharing feels like emotional dumping. Shutting down feels like rejection. The right response is measured authenticity. You share something real, something that has weight, but you don't flood her with your entire emotional history. You give her a piece of yourself, something that reveals character, struggle, growth, and then you pause. You let her respond. You create space for reciprocity. Here's what happens when you do this right. She feels connected. She feels like she's seeing something others don't get to see. And that creates a bond. It makes her feel special because you trusted her with something real. It also makes you more attractive because vulnerability, when delivered with confidence, is incredibly magnetic. It shows you're secure enough to be honest. I once asked someone, what's something you're afraid of that you don't usually talk about? He paused, looked at me directly, and said, I'm afraid of becoming someone who stops trying, someone who settles. Then he smiled slightly and said, That's why I don't. That answer told me everything. It showed depth, self-awareness, and drive. It wasn't performative, it was real, and I wanted to know more. That question and his answer shifted everything between us. The fifth phrase is the one that most men hear but never truly understand. It's when she says, You make me feel, and then she names an emotion. You make me feel safe. You make me feel excited. You make me feel like I can be myself. This is the ultimate sign. When a woman tells you how you make her feel, she's not describing the moment. She's describing you. She's associating you with an emotional state. And emotions are how we make decisions. Logic might justify them later, but emotions drive the choice. When she connects you to a positive feeling, especially one tied to safety, excitement, or authenticity, she's essentially telling you, you are what I want. This phrase reveals that she's not just attracted to what you look like or what you do. She's attracted to how she experiences herself when she's with you. That's the deepest level of connection. Because she's not thinking about you as someone external. She's thinking about the version of herself that exists when you're around. And she likes that version. Most men respond to this with insecurity or deflection. Really? I don't do anything special. Or they make a joke. Well, I try my best. Both responses minimize the moment. They shrink the emotional weight of what she just shared, and that makes her feel like maybe she was wrong to say it. The right response is to receive it fully. I'm glad you feel that way, or that means a lot to me. You're acknowledging her vulnerability. You're validating her emotion, and you're not making it about you. You're making it about the connection between you. That confidence, that ability to hold space for her feelings without deflecting, is what makes her feel even more certain about you. When you respond this way, something powerful happens. She feels seen, valued, and safe. She realizes you're not afraid of emotional honesty. You're not going to diminish her feelings or make her regret being open, and that makes her want to give you more of herself. It deepens trust, It strengthens the bond. It confirms that choosing you was the right decision. I told someone once, "You make me feel like I don't have to perform, like I can just be." His response was simple but perfect. He said, "You should always feel that way, especially with me. No deflection, no insecurity, just presence." That moment made me realize I didn't just like him, I respected him. And respect mixed with attraction is what builds something real. Now, here's what ties all of this together. These 5 phrases aren't random, they're breadcrumbs, they're invitations. They're her way of telling you, without telling you, "I've already chosen you. Now it's your turn to show me you understand." The men who recognize these phrases and respond with calm confidence are the ones who build real attraction. The ones who miss them or fumble the response, they end up confused, wondering why things didn't progress, never realizing they were given the green light and didn't take it. So let me ask you, have you heard any of these phrases before? Did you recognize them? Did you respond in a way that deepened the connection, or did you unknowingly push her away? Here's what I want you to do. First, hit that like button if this opened your eyes to something you've been missing. Second, subscribe and turn on notifications because I'm going to keep revealing the psychology that most women will never tell you directly. And third, drop a comment. Tell me which phrase you've heard, or share a story about a time you missed the signal. Let's learn from each other. Because here's the truth. Understanding women isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about awareness. It's about listening not just to the words, but to the meaning behind them. It's about responding with confidence, not desperation. And it's about realizing that when a woman chooses you, she'll show you. You just have to be paying attention. These 5 phrases are your key. Now you know what to listen for. Now you know how to respond. The question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Don't let another opportunity slip by because you didn't recognize the invitation. Start listening differently. Start responding differently. And watch how everything changes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.